Today we put together a video that shows our suggested method for replacing the hood seal on a DeLorean. Rather than attempt to install it with the hood still on the car, it's much easier to install the hood seal with the hood removed from the car. Hood removal is straightforward. First, mark the location of the hinges on the hood, outlining them with painter's blue masking tape. Then with a helper, remove the hood struts from their mounting points, and a 10mm wrench remove the nuts on the hood hinges. Using a work area large enough to securely fit the hood upon, cover it with an old blanket to protect the stainless surface. Now you're ready to begin. Begin by removing the old seal. Where it is still attached by the original adhesive, it will come off quite easily. If someone over the years has used any other type of adhesive, it may not be as easy to remove, so the careful use of a scraper may be helpful. Here our technician uses the scraper, being careful not to gouge or scratch the black structure of the hood. If you do accidentally scratch the surface and it won't be covered by the seal, you can usually fog it in with some black spray paint. Once the seal is removed, use a mild solvent to remove any remaining residue. Before you begin the installation of the new seal, use a vacuum to clean up any debris from the old seal or adhesive from the hood and your work area. The replacement seal you received may still have remnants of the original adhesive, and we strongly advise the use of a mild solvent to clean the bottom side of the seal where you'll be applying the new adhesive. A clean surface free of dust, dirt and any other adhesive will give a much better finished result. The bottom side of the seal is identifiable by the vent hole spaced every 14 inches or so apart. Notice the seal has a high lip on one edge and a low lip on the opposite edge. The edge with the high lip will be towards the inside and will rest nicely as shown here. The vent hole mentioned earlier will be on the side with the high lip that will face inwards for installation. Lay down a strip of the black weather stripping adhesive as shown on the side of the seal with the vent holes and set it aside. Next, starting on the side of the hood furthest from the gas flap area and about halfway down, lay another strip of adhesive on the hood as shown. By doing so, when these two surfaces are joined, they will adhere much better than either putting adhesive on one side or attaching them immediately after applying the adhesive. During this time, you should remove the hood bump stop catches using a 10mm socket or wrench as shown. This will make the next steps much easier. Take note of the orientation of the catches to ensure they get reinstalled the same way. Once the adhesive is set up, you can lay down the seal again with the high lip just resting on the raised edge of the inner hood. Using the palm of your hand, firmly push the seal into place against the adhesive, applying a light circular pressure to ensure the two surfaces make maximum contact. Apply a fairly heavy weight as shown to prevent the seal you just put down from moving as you make the seal contour to match the corner. Visually determine a point about halfway through the corner and apply the adhesive to both the hood and the seal to just about that point. And let this newly applied adhesive cure for about 10 minutes. At that time, work it around to that halfway point, holding it in place so you can apply the clamps as shown. Allow the adhesive to cure completely, usually about 10 minutes, and then you're ready to continue. As beforehand, lay down a strip of the black weather stripping adhesive as shown on the side of the seal with the vent holes and set it aside. You can lay down another strip of the adhesive on the hood as shown and allow to sit until both are slightly tacky to touch. Then lay down the seal as shown. Again, with a firm pressure to ensure good adhesion, use your weight and clamps as shown whilst the adhesive sets up. You can go ahead and apply adhesive to the seal and hood in preparation for the next section, stopping right at the point by where the gas flap area where the curve begins. You'll see the tech using a brush to ensure a good even application of the adhesive. That also helps promote the curing process. You can go ahead and apply the adhesive to the seal and the hood in preparation for the next section, stopping right at the point by the gas flap area where the curve begins. The curves around the gas flap area are the most difficult, but by taking your time you can get a good looking fit here. He is also using a black marker to indicate points where he plans to apply the adhesive to the seal and the hood. Once the first part of the curve is completed and before the next curve, make sure the seal is clamped and weighted during the curing process, usually about 20 minutes. Trying to do this full curve all at once will likely produce an unattractive result. Like the others, go about halfway through the curve, allowing it to cure before continuing on, though you can get your adhesive set up for the next short section. A little bit of stretching the seal can also help to get a good look. Before moving to the next corner, make sure the previous corner has sufficient time to cure. 30 to 45 minutes is not unreasonable. As a general rule, the tighter the bend, the more you will want to be sure that you have a good adhesive coverage and have good cure before moving to the next section. The proper application of the weights and clamps will help this along considerably. Once you are around the corner and ready to move down the side of the hood, resist the temptation to try to do the entire straight line here at once. Laying it down in more or less halves as seen here will get you set up nicely for the next corner. For this corner, do about half the curve, then let it cure before finishing the curve. Again with the weights and the clamps during the curing process. For the second half of the curve, you can go about halfway down the bottom edge of the hood. The second half of the bottom edge of the hood and the first half of the final corner can be done at the same time. Taking your time to use an ample amount of evenly spread adhesive along with the weights and the clamps are still key to getting a good final result. For the last half of the final curve, you can see the tech following the same steps as before, marking the points where he'll apply the adhesive to the seal and the hood and using the brush to get good coverage. After letting them set for about 10 minutes prior to mating them to each other, he then uses the clamps and the weights to ensure they get a good bond. Before you apply adhesive to the last section, use your marker and a good blade or scissors to cut a nice straight edge where the two ends will meet. Once the seal installation is complete, install the hood bump stop catches, taking care to get them in the same position and orientation as before. It's also a good idea to check them after the hood is reinstalled to be sure they don't interfere with the bump stops as the hood is closed. So as you've seen during the course of this video, there is no real shortcut to replacing the hood seal on a DeLorean. You just have to follow the procedure as outlined in the video. To stay up to date with all our DeLorean videos, make sure to subscribe by clicking the button down here, and please click the thumbs up below and share it with your friends and social media.